Okay, some other news now. Flying drones is all set to become legal in India. That's right. It'll happen from the 1st of December. Users will be required to do a one-time registration with their drones, pilots and owners.
Well, for every flight, users will be required to ask for permission to fly on a mobile app, and an automated process would permit or deny that request instantly. Drones will be allowed to fly only during the daytime and to a maximum altitude of 400 feet.
So this is a rather interesting step there being taken by the Civil Aviation Ministry. Now, as you know, drones have really been the fad across the country. A lot of people have bought them, using them, but there were no guidelines in place about who can and who can't. While there were some broad guidelines about it not being allowed near government buildings and army and other forces installations,
right.
There was no clarity on if a civilian had to use it, where that civilian could use it, and up to what height could that drone actually fly. Now,
right.
Many countries across the globe actually have certain guidelines, and India is now framing them.
Right. So those regulations have been released by the government, like Viren just mentioned. Certain parameters have also been set. Sanjana joining us from the Mumbai newsroom. Sanjana, help our viewers understand, first of all, why was this decision taken to make flying drones legal, and what would be the process and procedure for a citizen, because now we are given to understand that, this is something that will become legal from the 1st of December, and what would be really the rules and regulations that one might have to follow though?
Right, Afrida. So what we're essentially going to go through is what the Civil Aviation Ministry released yesterday. It was a press release where they spoke about how they had a conversation with various stakeholders and kind of decided that this was perhaps, it was time to relax the regulations around drones. So let's remember that this is, drones in particular have been a topic of a lot of contention, because it's always been viewed as something that is, bizarre and outlandish, because let's face it, it's something that flies in the sky. It can be used for a lot of purposes. So obviously any government, any kind of authority will regard it with a fair amount of suspicion. But it is also to be remembered that drones, essentially the use of them will lower the cost of operations in various industries. That's something to be considered. So it lowers the cost in aerial photography. It can be used for real estate. It can be used for monitoring equipment in wind and solar projects. It can be used, let's remember, for disaster relief. So we've just come out of something like Kerala. So a use of drone over there would be something that's really that really could have come to a lot of use. It could have been really beneficial. So let me just take you through what exactly the Ministry of Civil Aviation has in fact said in their press release. They have said that all RPAs, which is drones except nanos, those owned by the NTRO and the Central Intelligence Agencies, are to be registered and issued with a unique identification number. So that's something that you will essentially need. Unmanned operators will be required except for these nano drones that are in fact there. But of course there are also regulations coming in, because let's understand that delivery purposes wise, these drones cannot be used, and also there is going to be no drone zones. The regulation is also going to be defining no drone zones. So that's essentially around airports, that's around international airports, where understandably these drones cannot be used.
Right. Sanjana, also the fact that you can log into an app and get a digital permit, so things are looking quite sophisticated in that sense. Thanks for joining us with your inputs.